anything. From the witches on The View cackling about how men are useless.
Do we need men?
Men are useless.
All right, then you go work in this. So no, please take your ass, women. All right, cool. Men, we gotta stop working the sewers, the mines. Let's just send women into there for like, I don't know, a month and let's see how they like it. Let's see if they come out with that same rhetoric that y'all don't need men. I mean, sweetheart, you do like your bathrooms, do you not? Like, yes, sewers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 98, maybe to 99.99% of that is done by us. Yes, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's other things that we do that y'all women don't touch, but I would say let's go to the best example where I know most women are going to agree with me. When I say that, you better be thankful for us because we're the ones working them damn sewers.
To women online saying they'd rather be stranded in the woods with a bear than a man.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest?
And make sure to like the video.
In 2008,
And make sure to like the video, guys. Whoops, actually went a little too far there. So go ahead and double tap that screen or the 3 dots up there in the corner, man. Let's get these likes up. Appreciate y'all.
Better than a man.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
The bear.
So I ain't gonna lie, that first girl, I wasn't even sure that was a woman.
Bear.
It seems that things have gotten more toxic than ever, and the gender divide couldn't be any wider, especially politically.
In 2008, 58% of young people leaned Democratic. 2012, 53%. And in the last 2 major election years, that percentage held steady at 55%. But in 2023, that number dipped below 50% for the first time since 2005. And you'll notice right here, they've started to lean more Republican. And that's partly because of one specific group, young men.
Man problem.
Okay, I know I said I was going to focus on the gender war and not talk about politics for a while. However, I found a loophole. Politics is talking about gender war. With this election being hailed by the media as the man versus woman election, according to any and all data coming out recently, men all around the world have shifted more right.
Man, I bet in South Korea it's like, nah, we want this. But women is like, hold on, we want this. Ah, man, of course. So men are shifting way more right. In every country, even in the U.S., okay, it's interesting. It's real interesting because, well, let's be real. Liberalism kind of disrespects men. It disrespects what men want, how men want to live, what men want to be, all that good stuff. I mean, bro, under liberalism, you can't be a strong, masculine man. It's like you got to be like a beta male cuck.
And
think of a Destiny type. Those are who the liberal love.
Women have shifted more left, but women going more left was not the focus of this month's outrage. The outrage—
And shout out Maya, female engineer here, also mom of 3 men. We need and love men. Let the blue hair live on their island. They'll last an hour. I mean, for real though, you leave all these liberal women on an island somewhere, they'll beg for us. I promise you. Don't worry. Honestly, like I said, let's just stop doing all the hard jobs and just say, all right, well, since we're so useless, women, and y'all just so comfortable doing all these office jobs, why don't y'all step down from your high horse and, put your hands in the sewers, put your hands in the dirt, on the concrete, man, go ahead. Well, hey, equality, right? Well, y'all need to step up in y'all equality and do some of these hard labor jobs. Now, I'm joking, but come on now. If y'all gonna disrespect us like that, y'all can at least do the jobs that y'all don't want to do, that we do majority of. Like, come on, prove to us that y'all don't need us.
Of course, was about men. That's right, we got our yearly, oh no, what is happening to men? Why are they moving to the right freak out? But unlike last year, this freak out isn't solely happening on the internet, no. It's also happening in Washington, D.C.
There are only 4—
And shout out Maya, man. Shout out, for, proud mom and proud engineer, educated mother. Hey, them are the best ones.
46 days until Election Day, and the Harris-Walz campaign is struggling to appeal to a group of voters that could determine the outcome of the election, and that is men.
The Harris campaign is making an aggressive last-minute effort to win over younger male voters.
Am I really gonna make a video criticizing the Democrat Party days before the election? Of course I am. Now, before you celebrate or grab your pitchforks, this is not a pro-Trump video. This is a do-better video. This is a mommy's not mad, she's disappointed video. Actually, I lied. Mommy's pretty mad. In this video, I am going to be addressing the Democrats' so-called man problem, the recent discourse about men moving right, the last-minute pandering the Democratic Party is doing to get them back, what they could be doing instead, and of course, going over some terrible opinions. Not my opinions. I have never had a bad opinion in my life. Except that one opinion. We don't talk about that one opinion. In a world where it seems like everything men do and like is toxic, from eating meat to working out to even having a beard.
That's why, I mean, when liberals sometimes get violent, I mean, dog, all the masculine things that men do is now seen as conservative. I mean, having a beard, like, all right, I don't know about that one. But going to the gym, because I see a lot of, you know, libs with beards. But going to the gym, yeah, it's kind of seen as being conservative, more of a far right type of thing. And I'm just like, wait, what? So being in shape, being able to have a strong body and mind is conservative, when it should just be, well, honestly, a health standard. But then again, having standards for your health is apparently conservative. And, you know, it is crazy. That's why you always do see a lot of fat or scrawny people being oh so liberal,
Oh,
and gay.
wait, that reminds me. Before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to today's video sponsor, Henson Shaving. If you've used a multi-blade razor, you're probably familiar with this story. Irritation, razor burns, and maybe even ingrown hair. Studies show 2/3 of men experience some form of irritation after shaving. It's something they just expect at this point.
And you damn right, women, we do. Yes, yeah. When your man's irritated, sometimes it might just be from that that effed up razor that he using that got that irritation under his skin. And it's like, it'd be like that.
In general's growing and widely accepted hatred of men. This has been happening for a very long time. And if you dare spoke up about it, you were called an incel or a pick-me, depending on your gender. But seemingly, almost out of nowhere, there has been a change of heart.
You know, I think men are in crisis, actually, in this country. I think that plays out different ways. But I think we need to have a real conversation about that.
Wow, that's interesting. Mainstream media talking about this? I wonder why they care so much now. Democrats fear Harris losing too many male voters to Trump. Oh. Signs have been mounting that, for the first time in recent decades, Democrats may lose majority support from young men in 2024. The risk to Democrats is that this is not just a one-time fluke, but an indication of growing trouble with men in coming elections. Democrats can celebrate the support they are getting from young women, but they also need to take the disaffection of young men seriously, engage them directly, and respond to the visions of manhood and masculinity that Donald Trump and J.D.
And not call us, well, misogynist, not call us racist just because we don't want to align with y'all leftist ideology. Like, just because we don't agree with abortion don't mean that we have an internal hatred of women, which actually just means that we have a love of life and we see the potential life in a fetus and we see that as an actual life. So yeah, calling us, well, I don't know, misogynist or saying that we have a internalized hatred for women is wild as hell.
Vans are offering. Alright, Kamala, you got 2 weeks to reverse anti-male propaganda and resentment fueled by our government, media, and institutions. How you gonna do it? Harris campaign creating space for white dudes. Oh, that's a great idea. I mean, a little too late, but I'm glad you're finally doing to be honest about role in history. Oh. It's always a space for white men to talk about how much they suck.
What made you start this group, White Dudes for Harris? And I suspect some of it has to do with the polling.
Yeah, for far too
weak. Shut up, Lastine. I'm going to punch you in the ovary. That's what I'm gonna do, Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the ovary. It's like
long the left has essentially ceded white men to the MAGA right. There's large parts of the left who have gone out of their way to alienate white men over the last couple of years. And that's understandable in many ways. We decided that we wanted to create space for white men to be a part of electing Vice President Harris.
At the top of the call, White Dudes for Harris organizer Ross Morales Roquito said he wanted to address what he called the elephant in the room, criticism surrounding an event organized for white men given the country's history of racism. A lot of people felt uncomfortable about the call, he said. Throughout American history, when white men organized, it was often with pointy hats on. They can't even have their gay little Zoom call where they circle jerk about hating themselves without their own—
they try to get— that's why you can't appease these people. Like, bro, as a man, you cannot appease these people on the left. Yeah, we even try to create a group since y'all want to section all white men off as just these evil people, especially if they're straight. Just push them off as just these evil people. And then when they try to create a group, it's like, no, we're not that, we're not that. Y'all want them to shame themselves. Y'all want them to talk about how bad they are. I mean, bro, that's why they might as well just be Trump supporters. Like, you can't appease these people no matter how bad you talk about yourself, no matter how bad you put yourself down. They will just ask you to do more. You might as well just, bro, show some goddamn backbone and be like, nah, y'all ain't just about make me feel bad about myself for what? For what I was born as? Can you imagine if they even tried that on black people? Y'all be hurt.
Going, yikes! A bunch of white males in one space? Seems kind of like the KKK. Black people can have their little groups and that's fine, but if a bunch of white people get together, well, that's just called breadtube. Never mind. White dudes for Harris. I mean, she's doing pretty bad with Latinos, too. What's next? Hombres con Harris?
Too late.
Oh. So basically, men are leaving the Democratic
That's wild. Like, too late. They're already on it.
Party in droves, and it's not looking too good for the Democrats. So it wasn't long until everyone's favorite discourse hit Twitter again. If Kamala loses, which is very possible, there needs to be a real discussion about how Democrats speak to and reach young men. If Kamala loses. If she wins, there doesn't have to be discussion. We shouldn't change anything. Clearly, we're doing everything right. To be clear, I'm not saying we need to worry about women less or change any positions. I'm saying the polling around young men is concerning, and if it turns out to be true, we need to have a discussion about how condescending we are coming off to a huge part of the electorate. To be clear, I'm not saying we have to change it.
I always say I would used to say the black condescending liberal, but then I took the black off and I just said the condescending liberal. It's like, it's just all y'all. Y'all just all have that perspective of just being condescending, looking down on Trump supporters, having a very condescending attitude and I'm better than you because I think this way. And not all of you. No, not all of you. They're good people on both sides, of course. But when most of y'all come out and most of y'all who are ready to debate come with this condescending attitude. Like, y'all not even ready to hear the facts. Y'all just looking down at that person already just because they're voting for Trump. So it's like y'all use this ideology as a supremacy to make you feel good about yourself while you hide behind a faceless account and spew your rhetoric.
Anything, I'm just wondering why men aren't voting for us. What? I am gonna regret posting this so hard. And oh boy did he, the replies were insane, to say the least. I must admit, I cringed reading most of this. I feel that one thing you didn't address is the systemic entitlement bestowed upon white men in the US. That sense of entitlement, that privilege they've felt for eternity, is eroding. Systemic entitlement they have felt for eternity? They're like 22 years old! The f*** do you mean eternity? Who is this, like, 200-year-old man? So, young men are snowflakes with hurt fifis because they're not the center of attention anymore. Got it. So, are they poor little snowflakes, boo-hoo, or are they scary fascists that are gonna turn America into the Handmaid's Tale? Because
that's what I'm saying. It's like they have it both sides. Like, y'all call them weak, and then y'all give them all this power to take away y'all rights. Like, you can't call them weak, but instead that they have the power to take away y'all rights and send y'all into the Handmaid's Tale. Just, bro, it's like the same thing y'all do with Trump and the border bill. It's like y'all can't say nobody respected him in the House, everybody hated him, he had no leadership skills, but yet he has the same leadership skills, the same respect to be able to knock out a border bill just by calling a couple people. It's like, y'all can't play both sides.
it can't be both. You either care about the future, or you don't. You cannot simultaneously hand-wave away men moving to fascism, but also fearmonger about it. Hi, man here. Maybe men
make sure to like the video. Go ahead and double tap that screen or the 3 dots up there in the corner, guys. Appreciate the support, and shout out James Foley, man. Shout out to Dave, man, and Sergeant Castro. No more Coke. No more Coke. Okay, yeah, no more Coke in the White House. No more Coke for anybody. Everybody just, if you're doing Coke, stop it.
just need to stop being absolute pieces of dog shit. It seems like the easiest thing to do, right? I don't feel alienated or uncomfortable with democratic messaging because I'm not a complete wannabe fascist cheese dick incel loser who thinks he's the good guy. Reddit and its consequences have been a disaster for the male race. They just need to get off their asses, stop playing video games, and get real jobs. First of all, what real jobs? These guys are coming out of college with useless diplomas and there are no jobs. Also, what an out-of-touch boomer-ass take. Get off your ass and stop playing those video games from the generation who watches TV 24/7. I don't want to hear it. Tell them to get therapy. Tell them whatever you told or gave to women in the 1950s. They made this bed, let them sleep alone in it. Or be f***ing better men. Any other group of people and it's, oh, boo-hoo, poor baby, let me rewire all of society so your feelings aren't hurt. And then with men it's, get therapy. Be f***ing better. While there is truth in messaging needs to be better from Democrats as a whole, I reject that telling young men they need to be better is the problem. They are trash in their nature.
You know, it's actually so funny about, oh yeah, those young men just need to stop playing video games and all that. I'm like, you know, it's so crazy because, well, it's mostly the liberal men that believe in playing video games and all day and not working and all that. It's mainly them men who are the Kamala Harris supporters. I mean, if you really look at Trump policies, it kind of only works out for hard workers, not lazy bastards.
And if they can't do the work to not be toxic waste of seed, that's on them. Vote for my team, by the way. We may not want to hear it, but this is what the data reflects. There is a massive loneliness epidemic in this country, which is disproportionately affecting men. Instead of calling them incels or mocking them, we should be willing to hear out their concerns. Wow, a surprisingly good tweet in a sea of bullshit. That's nice to see. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming you're a straight white man, so yeah, go do something about it. Why are you guys bothering the rest of us with this? I can't figure
out. It's crazy how the left tries to separate. I'm like, we're American at the end of the day. It's only the left that's going to sit there and be like, well, you're a straight male. You're a cisgender male. You're this, you're that. It's like, but are we not both Americans? It's like, you're going to they're going to say everything in the world to label you something that separates you from them. When we're both Americans, we should both have the same, like, honestly, the same wants here. The same, like, want to have our people safe. The same want to have a great nation. So when you go over here just labeling people certain things to separate them from you, it's like you're not really doing, well, I don't know, maybe I don't know what your agenda is, but if it's to help it's to bring us together and to help our nation become a better place, you're kind of walking backwards, my friend.
Figure it out, because I would like for Democrats to win the election.
Let me address this real quick, because when they say that, oh, well, y'all are in a cult, dog, please compare the Donald Trump supporters to please compare us to other cult members. I mean, like, you got Charles Manson, you got all types of occults that you can compare people to that have, that radical ideology. You're not even making sense. Like, you're misusing the word cult, if you want to be honest. Like, please describe to me how Donald Trump supporters are cultish. Like, please tell me, like, because it don't make no sense and it kind of just sounds like you're just saying stuff. This ain't stuff.
Why do you care about men suffering? Because I want to win the election. Amazing. This is the issue right here. Start seeing men as people and not numbers in polls. That is step one. You can't even do step one. Anyway, there were thousands of these kind of tweets in response to this guy. You get it. We've seen it all before. If I went through all of them, this video would be 3 hours long. White dudes for Harris wasn't the only strange attempt the Democrats threw out at the last second to get the male vote.
Hey. White dudes. So, I think we're all pretty sick of hearing how much we suck. Every time you go online, it's the same story. We're the problem. And yeah, some white dudes are. Trump and all his MAGA buddies are out there making it worse.
Are you f***ing kidding me? Years of these people saying men suck and are the problem, and now they're like, hey fellow men, are you sick of being told you suck and are the problem? The audacity! Apparently, Kamala Harris has a secret weapon to win over male voters.
Kamala Harris is turning to her running mate, Tim Walz, hoping he is the...
Yeah, see, this is where y'all, like I said, y'all misinformed then. You're misinformed about what Trump supporters are. We're only rocking behind Trump because of his policies. Because we're believing the words of Trump. We believe in his policies. It's not the man himself. A lot of us will sit here and say, I think... bro, one of our best supporters, Big Wave Dave, he'll tell you every time, I don't like Trump. I don't like Trump. I just like his policies. And a lot of people feel just like him. So when y'all use this word cult, it doesn't add. It doesn't like hit. I'm sorry, it really don't. And bro, I'm be real with you. Yeah, there are some fanatics out there. Like, there are fanatics everywhere. Like, we have Kamala Harris fanatics, and we got Trump fanatics. We got people tattooing these people's faces on them, on both sides. So, what? We could also call it the cult behavior on Kamala Harris' side for the few fanatics on there. But we're not. We're not going to sit there and just disrespect a whole group of people by calling y'all a cult just because y'all have a few fanatics. It's like y'all being extremely disrespectful. But, hey, though, that's just liberals, I guess.
The secret weapon who can chip away at Donald Trump's support from men.
Much like how Trump chose Pence to win over the more establishment Republican voters, Kamala seems to have chosen Tim Walz to try and win over the white male vote. And boy, are they trying. Now, I don't hate Tim Walz. In fact, I was pleasantly surprised when they chose him over Josh Shapiro. I like a lot of his policies, like his universal school lunch policy. That's an amazing policy. You'd have to be an insane freak to disagree with that. Or a libertarian. But I repeat myself. And there were a few times where he was speaking where I completely forgot he was running to be Kamala's VP and not president himself. And he actually brought a lot of energy to the Democratic stage for once. So what the f was this? Putting out a bunch of ads of Tim Walz changing the air filter in a car, clumsily shooting a gun, and drawing a political football play-by-play. Trotting out Walz like some kind of minstrel show of a white man. Like a man dressing up like a man for Halloween. You don't gotta do all this, bro, I promise you. And they don't shy away about how that's exactly what they are trying to do. Tim Walz is clearly a Midwest man's man, but he's the antidote to toxic MAGA masculinity. Despite his typically masculine resume as a Midwestern football coach and veteran, Walz is utilizing those qualities to push forward a more progressive, compassion-based form of masculinity. Part of being a vice president is understanding that you are just that, someone who is there to aid and support the president. Walz simply being there on the ticket with a woman and taking a back seat to his running mate, Vice President Kamala Harris, is him embracing his leadership role in a positive, masculine way. Football coach and cheerleader, how Tim Walz is defining masculinity. Amy Deal, a sexism researcher.
Yeah, her and her husband Doug, who was allegedly slapped the woman so hard she spun around. And then we got Tim Walz, who, he cares so much about masculinity, but he put tampons in boys' bathrooms. I mean, come on now. I mean, we're talking about the guy who couldn't even stand up to protect his own citizens when the Summer of Love popped off, when the riots popped off in Minnesota. And his own people were calling for him. I mean, like, he cowered right there. So masculinity? No, I don't see none of that, man. Not a shred of masculinity. I mean, bro, if he had good T levels, look at that bald spot on that man's head. Is vicious. And he looks out of shape. I don't see no masculinity in that man.
Researcher and author of the 2023 book Glass Walls told USA Today that men like Walz who are intentional about rejecting traits and beliefs commonly dubbed as toxic masculinity are the tonic to harmful stigma associated with expectations of men and boys. He shows you can be masculine but also not threatened by women as equals or women who are in positions of power. In fact, you can be cheerleaders for them. Notice the common theme here: taking a back seat, cheerleading. Like 5 different articles I read specifically use this word cheerleading. Even a few about Kamala Harris's husband, Doug. God knows we need an antidote for all the lousy men in the news, and I think I found one. A lovable goofball who is happy to cheerlead for his wife. The vice president.
A lovable goofball who's happy to cheerlead for his wife. Does that sound like a man? A man who takes charge, a man who's supposed to be the leader of his household, being a goddamn cheerleader? I mean, bro. Gay as hell. I'm sorry. I'm just saying that just sounded so damn gay. I mean, and not homosexual. I mean, just gay and lame as hell. Like, what the hell, bro? What are we saying? He's cheerleading for his wife, and that makes him the best example of masculinity. No, that makes him a bit of a beta male. I'm gonna be real with you. That's like literally the definition of a beta male.
President of the U.S. Thank God for Doug Emhoff. Successful guys.
Those who feel inferior enough, he felt inferior enough to his wife to start dancing like a cheerleader for her. I don't think you should frame it that way.
Can support their wives and be respected. You don't have to be the quarterback to play the game at an elite level. Emhoff and his breed of dudes who are giving it their best shot may never be as come hither to lost young men as the militant Andrew Tate models of manhood, but they are out there, and, not unlike good husbands, will appear when they are needed. From the outside looking in, the right promises young men a return to the good times, of the glorious past. You know, the one your grandfather had. The Coca-Cola ad rose-tinted version of the past. Back when you can afford a house and support a family on one income. While the left, which historically, in my opinion, had the policies to make that happen, are instead trying to sell men a vision.
Now, for the Kamala Harris supporters, y'all literally try to call somebody who just had a woman bring in a meal for him beta, but hold on, a dude who's cheerleading for his wife, yay, honey, go. That's the guy that y'all call a man. I mean, all right, go ahead. There ain't no speaking to y'all. All right, there's no convincing y'all. If that's what y'all think, bro, you're making yourself more look like a fool. You're making yourself look like a fool right now. But okay, though, I can see why, because your girl would never bring you no damn food. You're going to go ahead there and cheerlead for her. No, your ass is in the kitchen bringing her food. That's you. That must be y'all.
Vision of the future. And, well, the future...
Man, y'all Kamala Harris males, man. Yeah, y'all better go get y'all aprons, I guess.
Future is female. A future where you're no longer playing the game, men. You're on the sidelines being a cheerleader. Doesn't that just sound so exciting? Like, what the hell is going on inside these DNC consultant meetings? I really gotta know. Does anyone have any ideas on how to appeal to young men? And please, for the love of God, do not say we have to offer them anything or change in any way. I got it. What? Camo hats. We did that. Vasectomy bus. We did that.
Wow.
Have you perhaps tried nagging them? Yes, we've been doing that. Say, you know that whole...
What you mean? They use Obama. They use the Obamas to nag us. Try to use the Obamas to shame us into being like, oh, you must hate women. Obama came out like, I don't like how y'all men are holding y'all vote or not voting for this woman because y'all hate women. I'm just like, really? You're not going to frame like men not voting for Kamala as us hating women. It just don't make sense.
Male loneliness epidemic thing. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, yeah.
A really nice place. Have you been here before?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite spots. I bring everybody here.
I said I go on a lot of dates, but...
Hey men, if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, women won't you. Brilliant. Young men should know that if you vote for Trump, you're basically never going to get laid. I mean, is it in...
Well, damn, if you vote for Trump, you're never going to get laid. I mean, goddamn, I guess I'm the biggest contradiction then. I must be the biggest contradiction out here. Damn. Ah, shit. I wonder how y'all doing then. Hey, man, I could say the same about Harris. I don't know which woman gonna look at you like, oh, you want to vote for a woman who want to take out, like, what, families? Oh, man, I don't know how the women respect y'all, man. But I don't know. I'm in Ohio. So our women respect conservative values. I don't know where y'all at.
Incorrect. Don't think so. Trump gives girls the ick. Vote Harris, get laid. They are not beating the pretending to be progressive to get laid allegations with this one. Literally just endorsing woke fishing. When men pretend to be more progressive on dating apps to get laid. Do not do this, by the way.
I'm weak. Shout out James Foley, man. Congrats. Congrats, Will, on the opening of his Kool-Aid Hotel. All right. Congrats, Will, on the opening of his Kool-Aid Hotel. Hey, man. It is crazy. Y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm just like, dog, all the lies you spill, y'all drinking the Kool-Aid. I can disprove all the stuff y'all say about Trump. And then y'all still won't admit that you got your head in the Kool-Aid bowl, man. It ain't even a good flavor.
Be open and honest about your opinions. And no, you cannot fix them. Also, pretty weird and like low-key sexist to imply like women are some prize for voting the correct way. Hey, and if all else fails, go after the Gooner vote.
Whoa.
Sorry, you can't do that.
What the hell, man? How'd you get in here?
I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're banning porn nationwide.
Woo! That's what we need, man. Man, let's go ahead and ban that porn, man. Let's get men productive again, and let's have them stop being sexual deviants. I mean, yeah, let's go ahead and ban porn. Let's go. I'm all for it. Or at least an age restriction to where you gotta show some type of ID, or who knows how we're gonna enforce it. But we do gotta make sure that kids can't, see this material. Content.
I'm sorry. I love this ad. The one time they speak to men directly, and it's, hey men, the Republicans are gonna take away one of the only vices you use to numb the pain. So vote for us. Bleak. Just the absolute state of the world right now. Also, was that Germa? Believe it or not, this wasn't the worst of it.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And then all the actors are gay is hilarious.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat. Man enough to cook my steak rare.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
When I first saw this, I thought it was a parody created by Republicans to make fun of how hard the Democratic Party is trying to pander to men to get their vote. But alas.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help.
It's like, bro, they just don't know men. They don't know men at all. They're so disconnected from being the real men. It's crazy. It's like, yo, y'all just so far out of line with who men truly are. It's funny. It's just so funny at this point. And it's almost disrespectful because it's almost like y'all stereotyping us. Shout out to being stereotyped.
Help them win.
Everything from them directed towards men has to have like this tone of irony or self-deprecation. They can't even do it sincerely. But apparently white men aren't the only demographic Kamala is struggling with.
This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November.
I mean, man, so you're telling me that Kamala has lost 40 points on black men. Basically, you done lost half your points when it came to support of black men. And why? Because, well, a lot's coming out. The fact that, one, you're not really black. And then, two, nobody like your policies. And then, three, you come up with on-the-spot pandering policies whenever y'all get called up on something.
November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden.
All right, Fontagar, I got to remove you out the chat, G, because you're not really being constructive and you're being belligerent and disrespectful. Hopefully you come into the call-in show tomorrow and stand on what you're saying in the chat. And hopefully you have the balls to say that with your voice, say that with your chest. Because, yeah, you're gone. Or as my man Drip would say, you're through. And shout out James Foley, man. My friend is asleep. Help me wake him up. Say, Bob, wake up. The blunt won't smoke itself. The house is on fire. Stop eating cats, man. Fuck Kamala. Just shout out James Foley. I got you.
Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points.
Democrats deployed their ultimate weapon, Barack Obama. At a campaign stump for Harris on Thursday in Pittsburgh, Obama said that despite Harris raising upward of $1 billion, we have yet to see the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. That lag in energy, he added, appears, quote, to be more pronounced with the brothers. You're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that, he said, because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman for president. And you're coming.
Nope, I'm just not feeling the idea of having that woman as president. It's just her, nobody else, just Kamala. So you can't say that I hate women. I just don't like Kamala's presidency. That's it. It's not a hatred of Kamala. It's just a dislike of her policies. But if y'all want to frame it as hatred, man, go ahead. I'll let y'all run that baton all the way to the finish line.
Coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. Once again, their only tactic seems to be getting in a man's face and going, tisk tisk bad boy. Like a dog that just peed on the carpet. It's not 2014 anymore, Barack. Nobody cares about sexism, motherfucker. We can't afford groceries.
Bruh, it's like y'all want to bring up abortion, sexist, and all this good stuff. I'm like, people... Light bills are doubling. The grocery bill is doubling. People are paying more for gas. Affordability is at an all-time low for Americans. And y'all want to talk about sexist? Like, you don't shut your dumb ass up, bro. Y'all killing me. And make sure to like the video, man. Go ahead and double tap that screen for me or the 3 dots up there in the corner, bro. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
What's crazy is, as far as I know, Kamala herself has never played the woman card. She has never played the sexism card. In fact, she actively pushes against it.
You've been reluctant to lean into, to talk about the historic nature of your candidacy on the campaign trail. Why is that? Well, I'm clearly a woman. I don't need to point that out to anyone. The point that most people really care about is, can you do the job?
I don't know about that, Kamala. Man, on your side, it's a very forbidden question to ask, what is a woman?
And do you have a plan to actually focus on them?
I was proud. It's like they finally learned from Hillary Clinton's failure. But that didn't stop the media or Barack Obama from doing it for her. Thanks, Obama. For all the Zoomers, thanks, Obama was a meme in like 2008. Yeah, it was funny back then. That would have slapped. While I was writing this video, Kamala and Gretchen Whitmer were getting ready to film a video at a bar together when Kamala was apparently caught on hot mic saying this.
Yeah. Oh, we have microphones in here. Oh, listening to everything. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well,
You'll
now you
bleep
tell
my
us.
F words.
We just told all the family secrets. Shit.
We need to move ground with men, so what we're gonna do is pretend to drink beer at a bar. Men like beer, right?
Cheers.
Kamala, we already know you like alcohol. Trust me, from some of your interviews, we know you like alcohol. Trust me, we know that slur of speech and everything. We could tell, sweetheart. You don't need to do this. Shit, you was rocking with us on that. Hey, I ain't getting mad at her for drinking. I mean, that's pretty damn childish to get on Kamala Harris for drinking. But the fact that she's using it to, I don't know, relate to people, I'm like, can't you find a more positive habit of yours to relate to people with? Like, I don't know. What about walking in nature like RFK or golfing, which is a sport like Trump? But you chose drinking as a way to relate to the American people is wild. Especially American men is wild. Especially seeing that American men have an increasing problem with alcoholism. And that's what you chose? Okay.
Just talk about policy. Just be yourself. Just listen to men and what they want. Kamala, all you gotta do is talk. Actually, no, now that I think about it, that might make it worse. Put Tim Walz out there, okay? Let Tim Walz do the talking. Don't dress him up as a man. You wanna know how to speak to men? Go to where they are. A good place to speak to young men is the Joe Rogan podcast, which Kamala hinted at going on, but then that never happened, and instead Trump went on, and that episode hit like
that's what I'm saying. Is like, if the goal was to reach young men, Joe Rogan podcast would have been the best thing. You sit down there and just have a long conversation with Joe Rogan. And all you have to do is just avoid the Trump derangement topics, and you're good. You ain't got to deal with being fact-checked like in front of millions upon millions of people.
20 million views in a day. But like, can you blame her? Joe Rogan is just one of the most popular podcasts in the world with a majority young male audience. I hate it here. Every time this topic comes up, so does the topic of like Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, internet algorithms, Gamergate, whatever.
There is a massive amount of right-wing radicalization that has been occurring, especially in younger male spaces. Any hobbies whatsoever, whether it's playing video games, whether it's working out, whether it's, I don't know, listening to like a history podcast or whatever, everything that they see is right-wing sentiment being expressed by individuals that they find charismatic.
But you can only blame internet algorithms for so much for so long. This automatic assumption that any dissent from liberal mainstream thought could only be caused by manipulation or brainwashing from podcasters is honestly a cope in my opinion, and just an easy excuse for failing to reach anyone beyond your own subreddit. As if this all wasn't the result of like a stagnant neoliberal corpo hell world that created a vacuum that was just waiting to be filled with any kind of populism. The crazy thing is the Democratic Party did have a candidate who successfully spoke to the demographic that they are currently trying so hard to reach. His name was Bernie Sanders. And every time he did speak to that demographic, or say he was concerned that the Democratic Party didn't do enough to speak to that demographic, he was called a sexist, a racist, he was backstabbed multiple times, and cheated out of winning the Democratic primaries. His fans were—
The goal is not to like hear the masculine man. The goal is to make the masculine man feminine. I mean, if they cared about what we thought or what we think, then they'd have been trying to, I don't know, speak to us. They'd have been trying to relate to us. But now that they're so close to the election, they realize that they're down in numbers with us. They want to pull all this BS, and it's disingenuous. And we can see right through it.
Were called Bernie bros and constantly berated as sexists and misogynists. His campaign was too white and too male, and this apparently was a top priority to remedy in future campaigns. We were told he was just like Trump and, quote, appeal to angry white men. Well, 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 who's trying to appeal to angry white men now, bitch? It's almost like Bernie's hyper-focus on working-class issues, bread-and-butter issues, and populism was naturally attractive to men. No football or beer required. I miss him. And you know what? Maybe this shift with young men has less to do with who's holding the football and more of what happens when the DNC spends all their time and energy trashing the little bit of populism in their movement. And if you ask me, handing conservatives a monopoly on anti-establishment rhetoric on a silver platter was probably their first mistake. They kind of gave up on that bread and butter New Deal stuff for identity politics, and if you deny this, you are either lying or coping. The physical manifestation of the left has gone from the vision of the blue-collar union worker to a nagging, scolding fat woman with blue hair, barging into everyone's spaces and culturally colonizing them. Change this, change that, I don't like this, I don't like that. It's just incredible for me to witness years of anti-male rhetoric finally come back to bite the left and Democrats in the ass. Watching these chickens come home to roost has just been both incredibly depressing and deliciously vindicating to me in a sick way, and I'm not sure if I should lend out a helping hand or Mufasa them off this fucking cliff. Some Democrats are nervous the party was too late to realize the problem. These Democrats worry that the party has focused too much on courting women voters, LGBTQ voters, and culturally progressive voters, alienating too many men in the process.
Yes, it is. Yes, they did. And I'm gonna be real with you, it wasn't a bad strategy. I mean, like, majority of the population is women, so you're speaking up to majority of the population. Yeah, it was a smart strategy. But here's the problem, though. Is like you demonize some men, and then you forget that we know there are mothers of these men that are seeing their sons being rejected. There are mothers, wives of veterans, of like masculine men that they see that their ideals are being rejected, and they feel for us. Yes, there are actually a good amount of women that feel for the straight man. Just seeing that, you know, we kind of gotta align together with these women to create a nation, to have more kids and all that. So yeah. Yeah, I also left out those women who also, I guess, kind of have a, well, if you want to say kindred spirit, or if you want to say they align with the straight man or the conservative man, then yeah, you also leave them out too. It's not just conservative men. It's not just straight men or masculine men who believe in this stuff, who believe in these policies that Trump are talking about, who believe in conservatism. Like, not just us.
There's a recognition that we're losing men, and the things we're doing around men haven't been working. I think a lot of it is a reaction to social progressivism done the wrong way, says David Hogg. Young men, he says, feel like progressives look down on them for saying the wrong thing, even when it's a mistake. That discomfort is enough to drive them away from the Democratic Party, even if they don't necessarily agree with Republicans. They would rather be around someone they don't agree with who doesn't judge them, than somebody they do agree with who judges them constantly. Men aren't moving right because they are choosing fascism, they are moving right because the left made them the villains in their anime fan fiction. It's not that they all like Trump, it's that they all hate you, and no amount of camo hats is going to fix that. But do not get it twisted, I do not in any way, shape,
and shout out Maya, women aren't a monolith. Exactly. It's like, you shouldn't just expect women just to vote Democrat. You shouldn't expect women just to go along with the male bashing. Like, oh, we're bashing the men, you know, women's rights. Oh, women have the ups now. And it's like, no, it's not about that. It's supposed to be about us helping each other find the best way to live this life in America. It wasn't supposed to be about, oh, it's the women's time now to get ours on the men now. And it's like, nah, that shouldn't would it be. I mean, that's not how it was supposed to be. It's not what we should inspire it to be. So it is crazy how we have a political party pushing that for the past 3 years of, oh yeah, let's just scoot these men off to the side and just promote women-only agendas or women or pro-liberal ideologies towards women. And we should praise the women for thinking like this and tell them that any man that thinks outside of this, you shouldn't be dealing with. It's a bit wild. I mean, come on now. They've been doing it for 3.5 years. You can't say I'm wrong.
shape, or form believe the GOP is going to help men. I don't think they're going to help anyone. Except maybe Israel. Do I think all of the left is some hyper woke fat lady wagging her finger in men's faces like no fun allowed? No. If I did, I wouldn't call myself left wing. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent. But the Democratic Party is historically better on policy, and despite their messaging, even when it comes to helping men. Healthcare, higher wages, paid family leave, labor protection, Social Security, things Republicans have always fought against. And I think that's why this is extra frustrating to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not the same Democratic Party. Like, y'all done jumped ship. It's like all the people that we were like low-key mad about on the Republican side done jumped ship to the Democratic side. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, well, look, we ran away from the Republican because of the Bush era because y'all was doing some BS. Now it's like all the people from the Bush era, the warmongers, done hopped on Kamala Harris side. Now we're like, God damn. Well, look where we're at.
I don't say this with any love for the Republican Party. In fact, if anything, I say it with love for the Democratic Party. I fucking hate them, but deep down, I wish they could be better. I'm doing this for your own good. Shh. Go sleep, shh. Go to sleep, I love you, go to sleep, shh. I just hope that whether Kamala wins or loses, the party can take a step back and evaluate what they're doing wrong. Because I don't think the Democratic Party should be the party for the gays and women. I think the Democratic Party should be the party for everyone, including angry white men. So in your opinion, what could the Democratic Party do to win back young men? Can they do anything? Are they fucked? To me, it might take decades of work to fix the culture, the rot that infests the progressive ideology. It is going to take a lot of work to fix, but I think it's worth it, not just for the Democratic Party's sake, but just for society's sake. If you like this video, please consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it so much. Also, thank you for 2 million-
That was a great, I ain't gonna lie, that was a great breakdown. My first time watching her, so that was actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good experience. Shout out to this young lady. What's her name? Yeah, I don't know, like how YouTube got this set up now, man. But follow her if you know her, goddammit. Follow her if you know her. That was actually pretty good. Now let's see here. Want to get back to that